Um,
All right, so we are calling our meeting to order here tonight at 7:02 p.m. on November 20th. Do we want to do our roll call? And maybe we can do introductions with our roll call.
Yes, sure. Scott, would you like to go first?
Yes, I'm the chair. I'm Scott Matsuda, chair, and that's it. I'm here, but I'm not there.
Okay. Karam?
Oh, Karam or not?
My name is Beza Ayala. Since we're going around the table, I'm Erin. I'm one of our council members, but I serve as the council liaison to the DEIC Commission.
Teresa Courtney, one of the commissioners.
Vanita Francisco, I am vice chair and I volunteer a lot in the Edmond School District community and beyond.
I'm Sienna. I'm the new communications and community engagement manager for the city. So nice to meet all of you.
Yeah, I just wanted Sienna to introduce herself. She's been here 3 weeks and she's been diving in and she's going to play a bigger role in community engagement. She's been helping me a lot with planning for our community conversations and doing some video production, and super excited about her energy and capabilities. So
Happy to be here.
yeah.
My daughter is with Edmond School District.
Nice.
And you guys do a great job with communication.
We've had some transition in that job too. We're glad you're here.
Me too.
Yeah. So don't feel like you have to stay, but you're welcome to.
Oh, sure.
So-
I'm sorry, what was your first name?
Beza, B-E-Z.
Beza, okay. Are you here for Patricia or what are you doing?
Yeah, I thought you were Patricia.
Oh, I was confused. Oh, I didn't even read it. I just was like,
Okay.
no, my name is Beza. I came to one of the council meetings and they were saying that there's DEI meeting, so I just came. I saw some folks getting, like, it was like a DEI, I think, annual presentation, I believe, and so I went to that. It was like randomly, and we just went to the council meeting, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll just check it out.
You came with your mom, right?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Nice to see you again.
We are
Yeah.
super glad you're
Did you
here.
look familiar?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so like, that's not Patricia.
Yeah.
My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't even read it, I just took it.
That's all right.
I should have read it, I guess.
All right, and maybe I didn't do a sign-in sheet, but maybe we'll just do a sign-in sheet. And
We do have guests.
we have guests.
We're fancy.
Okay, okay, so we did roll call.
Yeah.
And
Public comment.
do you have anything you want to share public comment wise? Or
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
If you have anything to share or any updates or anything going on at high school or that you've noticed in the community.
High school? I don't know.
Are you at the high school or?
No, I'm 27.
Trying to take a decade away from you.
I was like,
I'm
I
sorry.
did go to Mountlake Terrace High School, and I
Okay.
did go to Evergreen Elementary School, which is now the city, like where
Oh,
the
yeah.
Zeke's Pizza and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That used to be Evergreen Elementary
Yeah, it
School.
did.
Yeah.
And I got my master, well, I got my undergrad at UW and I got my master's at UW, so I currently am doing like a temporary thing at King County. So I'm just here to be here.
well,
We're
Yeah.
super
You live
glad
in
to
Mountlake
see you.
Terrace?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I live like, on 238, so.
Awesome.
As you can tell, we don't have guests.
When you go to a concert and all the fans are like
Yeah.
cheering the one person, you are our person and we are super excited
I'm
you're
so
here.
glad, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's so funny.
Oh,
I
thank you
didn't-
for joining us.
I didn't
Yeah.
know, I just saw the people that were there. I think there was like immigrant award,
Mhm.
something that it was that night.
Yeah.
And then we just came randomly, we didn't really have an agenda or anything, of public comments, and then, yeah, so I was just like,
Super appreciate you
I'll
coming.
just come here, yeah.
Welcome.
There were some weeks that passed, but I'm glad that I'm here today.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking what you got your schooling in, what you're doing for work?
I'm currently in HR, so, so we're in learning and development, so
Great.
kind of doing like teaching employees about like equity and that kind of thing. We have like curriculum and that kind of I was like doing a fellowship at King County, and so then I got an extension at King County, so.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could learn from you.
And your degree is?
Oh, degree is cultural studies, so it's kind of like
And that's
the
what
questioning
your
of.
master's too?
Yeah, well, my undergrad is law, economics, and public policy, and minor in gender and women's sexuality studies.
Oh,
And
great.
then I went for my master's in cultural studies.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Great. Right. We do. We did post the minutes for August and September. If people had a chance to review them, we can vote, and if not, we can do it next time.
I moved up to,
Thank you for both August and September.
yes,
Fantastic. So
Second.
perfect. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving our August and September minutes, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Any oppositions? Any abstentions? Okay. Fantastic. So we are gonna move right into our city council. Oh, yes.
don't we excuse the missing people?
Oh,
Yes.
we can do that.
I move that we excuse William.
Okay.
Oh, and
And Kermit
that's all. Oh, and Patricia.
and
And
Patricia.
Patricia, yeah.
All right, so it has been moved to excuse our missing three commission members. Is there a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor of excusing our three missing members, say aye or raise your
Aye.
hand. Any abstentions or any nays? Okay,
I did not see Scott raising his hand or
Do-
any of you.
All right. I'm
Oh,
sorry, raising it.
Stop
I
screaming.
don't have, I'll raise it in front of me.
Just wink or something.
All right, so moving into our city council report.
Awesome, thank you. Nice to see you all, first of all. I feel like it's been a really long time since at least I've seen you in this space. So, nice to be here tonight. Lots going on council, lots going on generally, and seeing lots of you out in the community. So, and I know you'll talk about all of that. So I will just say thank you for continuing to show up and doing the good work that you do. I think big stuff in terms of kind of council updates that particularly this group has been involved in. We finished our comprehensive planning process, so that's very exciting. So we got through our planning for the next 20 years of Mountlake Terrace, which is super exciting, and that's something we do every 10 years. You know, on a comprehensive full, scale, although we take a look at other pieces of it in between those 10 years. So thank you for all of the work, particularly the stakeholder engagement, that this group helped us navigate. Great process, I think far more inclusive than it has typically been, and I'm excited to continue to build on that as we move forward. I think big stuff coming up that is helpful for you all to be aware of and potentially to help socialize. So we have our final review of our biennial budget tomorrow night. So we meet here at 7 o'clock for our city council meeting. So that is kind of our budget plan for the next 2 years. And so we've had quite a few conversations over the course of the last 6 months or so about, council priorities and community priorities, and departmental priorities, and try to marry those into a budget that addresses those and recognizes, the revenue that we have available. And so I think one of the things to be proud of and maybe to note about our community is you will see there's a lot of communities in really challenging positions right now from a budgetary perspective. We have been able to continue to maintain our current investments in community services. We were able to, I know the events manager role is one that this group has worked with a lot, Andrew, in events. That is a role that we had initially funded through ARPA funds that we've been able to continue now to move forward with finding city funds for. And so I think that's an important thing when we talk about community engagement and connection. That role has been a key part of some of that work. And so excited to see that investment. There's continued investment in kind of our internal diversity, equity, and inclusion work, which I'm excited about. And then we are adding a role around economic development, which I think, again, as we look for opportunities to, kind of continue to move the city forward, move towards our goals. As well as, potentially look for new avenues of revenue, that I think that's an exciting investment again. So I think proud of our city in terms of where we are, and look forward to hopefully, hearing from folks tomorrow and, moving forward with that. But a couple other things I think that are helpful for all of you to know is we're talking about our legislative agendas tomorrow night as well. So we have both our state lobbyist as well as our federal lobbyist coming to share thoughts on upcoming, the legislative session in Washington, as well as, kind of the lay of the land on a federal level and how they're going to advocate on behalf of our community and what they'll be advocating for. So, I think those are always interesting things to tune into. And I think that's the big stuff. So happy if anybody has questions to answer questions, but that's kind of what is on the radar here at the moment.
Great. So moving on, we have a presentation by Commissioner.
Carolyn, would you be able to open that Google Drive's link that I emailed you late today?
Oh, today.
Am I gonna be that?
What?
Scott, what was that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, am I gonna be able to see this?
Yes, I will be able to
Yes.
share my screen in just a
Okay,
moment.
I
Okay.
just realized we haven't seen each other. That's why it feels like it's been so long, is because it really has.
That's
We haven't
really
seen
has.
Yes,
each
it
other in
has. Been almost a
Okay.
couple of months.
I was like, we're approving our August minutes. That was a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
the last big thing was like.
It was still summer when we were,
So we are there.
Yeah. And we're talking.
It's updating. Okay.
I just made that face and right in the camera.
It was at 4:52, if it helps you in any way. Oh, yeah. Okay, I will try to go fast.
Okay, but wait,
Oh, you see.
not yet.
I don't want Scott to see it though.
Well, we have to record your presentation for posterity.
Okay.
It's not just Scott who needs to.
Oh, I shouldn't
like-
have put those curse words in it.
My husband tried to record it, text it, and we got a new car, and it bleeps when it responds back to you. It bleeps out.
oh,
Okay, so this is a
maybe-
very simple presentation. I just want to have something visual. So I have been involved with certain communities in Washington State, and I was asked to do a little presentation on how I engage, which communities I'm engaged with, and how I infiltrate those communities. So the first one is I wanted to talk about the Tatars and who are the Tatars. The Tatars are an ethnic group mostly living within Russian Republic of Tatarstan within Russian Federation. They're the second largest minority, the largest minority in Russian Federation, as much as I know, after the Russians. So the way I connected with them is literally found Tatar names in the company directory that I was on, and I started messaging them one by one, saying, "Are you Tatar? Are you Tatar? Are you Tatar?" If they said yes, I told them I want to be your friend. If they said no, ignore this message. That's how I met them, and then luckily there were a few families in the region that they were having small picnics once a year, so I was able to just join them. And I said, "I'm coming to a potluck picnic," and so that's how I became friends with them. And I just told them, so let's just make this official and let's just create a Tatar association. So we registered Tatars of Washington State nonprofit in Washington State and with the IRS. And we made like an annual plan, and they said, okay, let's just create a sense of community and experiment event scheduling. So we reserved North Valley Communities, I said community college, community center, not the college. So we just paid for it, and we asked donations from people saying, hey, let's just get together and make something traditional together in this kitchen with 3 ovens. So we actually cooked, but because we were so worried about like how are we going to handle this, because this was like the first large event, we limited the attendance by 30. And it was an awesome event. So these were the participants. So we got to meet a lot of people, and we baked together and then ate together and sang together. And we announced our incorporation. So it was nice. And then there's a big cultural celebration that is done by like Tatars, and there's another minority group in Russian Federation called Bashkirs. So we said, okay, let's just do this because both communities do it, and let's invite everyone. So we rented Life Park in Bothell. Again, we just asked for donations from people to attend. We had approximately like 80 people, and we even had people from driving from Portland because they didn't have one. And we had like a Turkmen community. Turkmens are people from Turkmenistan. So they also came with just like dances, songs, and everything. And so we had a kids events, like adults also played this, like, I forgot what they call it, like, just try to run in it. We just jump in those sacks.
Or
This is our,
potato sack race?
yes. So this is our like board. This is we kind of got caught off guard in this photo. Right? So, and then we just said, hey, you know what? It's the end of the year, have a small impromptu picnic, and we had it. So we have been organizing these events we are focusing on community building, and we're having monthly meetups so that people can actually speak their language together. So the next community are the Saha people. So who are Saha?
Can you tell me what language is it?
Tatar.
Tatar.
It's called
Okay.
Tatar. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm doing these things, whichever country or city I go to, I will always stalk these people and infiltrate these communities because I want to practice these languages. So it's not fully self. So the Saha people, they live in Siberian region of Russian Federation. And the way I met them is because I actually know a Saha lady who lives in Yelm, Washington, and I met her 15 years ago because, as I told you, I always stalk them. So recently, there have been a lot of asylum seekers moving to Washington State from Siberia because they're drafted by the Russian army without guns, so they die out in Ukraine. It's another form of genocide that the Russian Federation is doing right now. So she introduced me to a family. We met. I said, I want to meet with you guys. We just met in Linwood at a coffee shop, and I became friends with them. So, and then I asked questions of how many people are there. So let's just create this association. So we created Saha American Cultural Association. And there's a big celebration that they do in June. It's kind of sad sounding, but basically, we survived the winter celebration again, so we didn't die because Siberia is really cold. So I rented Lindale Park, and we couldn't get donations for this one. I just said, you know what, I want this to happen. So I paid for it. So we had food, dance, religious ceremony, because it's also a shamanic, these people are shamans, like animist people. So they wanted to practice their religion, so we did it. So we didn't track, but I think it was approximately 60 people. And this is that beautiful community. And we had Mountlake Terrace News also come and write an article about us. And the language they speak is Saha.
Thank you. I'm always curious
Yeah,
about
they're
the
also
languages people.
So they're also called Yakut. Actually, in English, they're called Yakut, but they don't like that word because the colonizers call them Yakut. And so if you call them Yakut, they're like, don't call me that. So these are the children, and there was a stage, so there were dances and traditional music. So the next, sorry.
So what is their preference in terms of?
Saha, they want to be called Saha. And I try to explain to them saying, yes, I understand, but in English, your name is Yakut. So the people call it, like, if you Google them, they will show up Yakut in the articles. But they're like, no, don't call us that.
It's like Eskimo, and we're starting
Yes,
to
like,
use Inuit.
they don't like being called Eskimo,
Right,
but
it's Inuit.
Yes.
It's a self-name.
yes,
And it matters, but it's also a transition period
yeah.
to be, okay. Thank you.
So the next community are the Kazakhs. Kazakhs live in Kazakhstan. So the way I connected with them is I found their Facebook group, and I they have a New Year celebration in March. They call it Nowruz. And I identified the person who's organizing it, and I just messaged him saying, "Hey, I want to meet with you." We met at a coffee shop. He was like, "What's going on?" And I said, like, "You know what? I'm going to be a part of your community. You guys are going to speak that language with me because I don't want to forget about it." So I said, "Let's just organize the community." So we established North American Kazakh Association. So this April Nowruz event that in 2024 is the one that I couldn't go, but that's the one that I just said, "Hey, you guys are the people," because I actually followed the community saying, like looking who's doing what. And I just wanted to identify some active people. So there are approximately like 200 people in that community, in that event. So after we registered, we had an inaugural picnic in August 2024. Luckily, a church gave their space to us for free, so we didn't have to pay for it. We had food, music, dances. We had a famous singer who flew from California. We had 123 people. This includes, so this is the community. This was the event. So this was a really nice event. So this is the assistant consulate from California, from Kazakh consulate. This is Jamie Goodman, Representative Jamie Goodman from Olympia. So this is our board members. They speak Kazakh, that's the language. The Crimeans, so this one is a little personal for me because my family fled Crimea and they sought refuge in Ottoman Empire in late 1800s, fleeing a genocide. But the remaining people were actually subject to genocide, and 27% of the population perished in 3 years. It was like a 3-year period of genocide, and the world just watched. They just ignored it because this was during USSR. So everywhere I go, I try to find them. So I personally reached out to a producer, asking if I can have a screening for free for her documentary. And I asked Kristen from the library, like, how do I do this? So I just organized this event, and Rick from Mountlake Terrace News came and interviewed us and wrote a really nice article about it. The whole purpose was to raise awareness. And I will keep doing it as that's my personal thing. So this is just a summary of things that I have been doing in the future events. Like in December, we're having Independence Day celebration for the Kazakhs. The consulate is coming. I actually got proclamation from King County. I harass everyone. So in March, we're gonna have a Tatar event, Avuzashi, like it's like a food event. In March and April, like we're gonna have like a Kazakh New Year and an Azerbaijani New Year. And then in June, we're gonna have a Tatar celebration for Sabantu, like spring celebration. We are going to reserve like Lundale Park. So basically, these are the things that I want to do for 2025. The challenges, the biggest challenge is the cost of venue, because we are very new, so we don't really have a reserve. So you pay and I get reimbursed. That's how we try to do it. Finding volunteers for the events is a little difficult as well because some cultures don't have volunteer culture. And they use this as an excuse and whatever. And in majority of organizations, we're just like trying to figure out how do we function as a nonprofit. The dreams, I always ask these communities, what are your dreams? The overlapping dreams are, we want to preserve our language. We want a space where we can actually speak our language, pass it down to the next generation, and have continue our traditions of like celebrating the Kazakh New Year, because that's actually a huge deal, or the Azerbaijani New Year. And they all want to have like a cultural center. And actually, they are willing to share that cultural center, like together. They just, even if it's not ours, because Kazakh people are saying, hey, we can share the one with the Tatars, and Azerbaijan, yeah, we can share it with them. So it doesn't have to be like unique to them, but they want a space. And also to be seen, to be known, and to be acknowledged. One example of it is proclamations. The first day as a commissioner here, someone, I don't remember who, made a comment, do these proclamations actually mean anything to people? that's what I meant, and I remember saying, yes, it does, because they're so invisible that they get excited. And I know it's just a symbolic thing, but telling them you exist. Like, for example, one day I was performing a song in Kazakh language, and someone said, "What is this language?" I said, "That's Kazakh." And the guy was like, "Oh, you mean Russian?" I was like, "Dude, I gave you the name of the language." Like, that's frustrating to people. Or saying, "Hey, I'm from Azerbaijan." It's like, what is that?
Mhm.
Like, it's like, look at the map. Like, so like that the visibility is important. So that's my presentation.
Wow, yes. That's very good.
Thank you. You've been busy.
Really impressive.
Very busy.
I wanted just to add that, Scott and I were talking about, how much work that you've been doing, and, I know it isn't all in Mountlake Terrace, but I want you to feel, empowered to bring some of these events to the group formally. And I know sometimes during our commissioner report outs, we don't have a lot of time,
Yeah.
but, if there's, I know that you've asked for help in the past, but I wanted the group to understand what you were doing better so that they understood the communities, the issues facing these communities, your personal connection to the communities, which I think is important and fascinating. And also, that sometimes these groups of folks, are spread across the South County area or the North King County area, and that we do have a place in all of that, right? Because, you know, maybe they will move to Mountlake Terrace, maybe they live here and go to another cultural space nearby. And so, I just wanted to open the door to that and help people understand what you're doing, because it's really powerful. So,
One thing that I would request one day, like this year might be like too short of a notice, but that Nowruz celebration is celebrated by Kazakhs, Azerbaijanis, Uzbeks, Turkmens. It's like multiple communities in the region. If the commission would be willing to do like something like where we can have like a combined celebration somewhere in Mountlake Terrace, like I don't know, like that would be really nice. Because the Uzbeks do a very good job, because there's a Seattle Tashkent Seattle Tashkent Sister City Association in Washington State, and they rent Shoreline Community College. Same with the Turkmens. They have like their own individual huge celebrations, but there are some smaller communities where they're not that established. So it would be nice to have like a New Year. It's the equinox, whichever date falls, the 21st. And this year might be tough because it overlaps with Ramadan and the communities yeah. But anyway,
yeah,
something like that would be nice.
okay. Yeah, we can certainly talk to, Andrew too about that. How do the commissioners feel about supporting something along those lines?
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh, and for Mountlake Terrace purposes, I know 9 people in Mountlake Terrace who also celebrate that New Year. They're residents of Mountlake Terrace.
I'm sure there's.
It also brings another diverse community into Mountlake Terrace, which is, you know, I mean, I think we like to celebrate that we are a really diverse community, so.
So this year, usually Nowruz is celebrated with food. Because it falls within Ramadan, and most of these communities are Muslim, not 100%, like most of them. So if it can be like, let's break the fast during Nowruz, because for example, Azerbaijan did it that way last year. It also overlapped. So let's celebrate, dance, sing, and have something to eat. So even if it's something like this, so we can accommodate their, not all of them are Muslim, but still, it would be nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Great.
How many languages do you speak?
It's about 10, but it's very influences. Some I can speak, can't write. Some I can write, can't speak. Some I read, but can't write. It depends on how much I used it.
Yeah.
So
And
that's,
are there a lot of different alphabets in terms
yeah,
of?
some of them use different alphabets. Some of them I can text like a teenager because I have not Like German, I can text like a teenager, but if you ask me to speak it, I will sound with it. Because I'm not a teenager anymore.
Do you mind sharing like what languages you grew up speaking?
I grew up speaking Turkish, English, and German because I mean, I grew up in Turkey. My school was trilingual. It was Turkish, German, and English.
Oh, okay.
They were distributing topics. Oh, you're going to study history in Turkish, but math is going to be in English, but this one is going to be German. So it's called immersion,
Wow, yeah.
or torture, however you want to say it.
Something, I mean, you know, a lot of immersion schools just have one language.
Yeah.
One immersion language.
Well, when I was growing up, they actually did torture my generation. They stopped doing it because they were actually busing us to what I call nerd schools. They were like shipping you away. Oh, you have more capacity. Let me just shove more information in your brain. And my generation barely survived. It was too much pressure. I didn't like it. But some other languages, like for example, Crimean Tatar, like that's like some heritage there. The other ones like Kazakh, Saha, it's just curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Great,
much.
thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Since we're talking about all the wonderful things you do, and one of I know one of the things is Children's Day, and we had a little taste of that last year.
I want that again.
Okay, I was like, I know it seems a long time away, and in this.
It's April.
I know, I was gonna say, I know it'll come quickly as we are like, oh, we're approving minutes
Thank
from
you for
August.
mentioning it.
Yeah, I would just, so that is on the radar again for this year.
I was gonna propose maybe we can, you know, that the celebration you went with your daughter?
Yes.
Maybe we can support that one if it is too much work for the city to do it itself.
Okay.
It's just a solution.
Which celebration?
So in Seattle, they have been doing that children's celebration for so long.
Oh, okay.
And they rent Armory, I think it's called Armory or something.
That's armor.
And her daughter was performing there.
She's in
The
the
Korean-
Korean drumming group that meets at Mountlake Terrace High School.
Yeah.
So maybe if the city, if it will be too much work for the city to have its own, maybe we can support that one so it's less effort. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Yeah. Or
Well,
when. Oh, go ahead.
Schools would definitely appreciate like a multi-month lead notice versus the 6 weeks I started with. Because it felt that, because of spring break
Yeah.
and where the meetings fall and when the date falls. And so,
Yeah, I think thinking about that, and maybe even like, I don't know if there's like a group that could come from that, I don't know when it falls this year, but like if there was a group that could come and be part of our, if we do performances again. Maybe something, you know, to bring some of, you know, that here in a way that's digestible. for-
Ideally, that's what I would like,
Yeah, okay.
but sometimes it's not that easy.
No, understood. Understood, I figured I'd at least mention it since I was gonna say.
Because last year I tried and nobody came and I actually shamed all of them. Behind the scenes, like shame on all of you. City of Mountlake Terrace did this, you didn't come, and some of them were like, sorry.
Maybe it was wonderful, and both events were wonderful.
Yeah.
Maybe there's opportunity for partnership, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was very, yeah, so thank you for all
Thank
of
you.
all of the things you did.
Scott, did you have any questions or anything to add?
No, I think that's an impressive body of work. Thank you for bringing all of that to us. That's not something that we've had set our sights on or anything like that. That was so comprehensive. Good work.
Yeah, I understand that a lot of people have a difficult time reaching out to people and just randomly talking to people. I do take advantage of people's culture. For example, all of those cultures, they have to be hospitable. That's mandatory in their tradition. So I just take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
cannot say no if I ask for food. I know that.
Yes.
So, like, for example, when we needed to reach out to the mosque, like, it's like, what's the worst thing that can happen? I just stopped the car, just walked in saying, I need to talk to someone.
Right.
Yeah.
Most people are open, actually. It's just sometimes our personal false assumptions are causing those
Right.
inhibitions, I guess.
I thought I was on the boards. I haven't started most of them. like, we're together, let's make a nonprofit. That's impressive. So now I know who to go to next time I have a nonprofit that needs help.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
All right, so we are moving on to our proclamation. And we have a handout about our proclamation for Native American, Native Alaskan, and Indigenous People Heritage Month of November.
Yes, and sorry, we didn't have time with the placement of the meeting to actually vote on it, but I
Yeah.
wanted you, I think I sent it to a draft to you and Scott to look
Yes.
at.
Yep.
And mostly I wanted to take the time to say that I invited the Indigenous parent group from the school district to come receive the proclamation. I don't think they will come, but I still think it's worth presenting it to them and bringing it to them on Saturday.
Okay.
And we mentioned the event that we're
Mhm.
sponsoring on Saturday with the school district, so.
Yeah.
Because this is being read tomorrow night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on this month.
I know, yes.
And one of the leaders of that group chaperoned a trip that went to Washington, DC
Oh,
last week.
gotcha.
And so
yeah.
trying to catch everything up. It's
Yeah.
been a lot. My kids
Um,
is friends with one of the parents, one of the kids of the parents of that leadership group.
Great.
So I follow her.
So we did end up sponsoring that chef.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that on the,
Yes.
yeah, because I remember we were talking about that. That's
Yeah.
great.
And so also on our agenda is, well, one, if no one shows up from that group, which I am anticipating, would one of you be willing to accept the proclamation and from the mayor, and just, agree to bring it on Saturday to the group? Are you willing? What, Anita?
I have a commitment tomorrow night at 6:30 to 9.
Okay.
So I think I'm a conflict. I can send my child.
I mean, if
I
no-
also-
if no one can make it, that's fine, and I can just bring it. to
I can
them,
also
but
check.
I don't, don't need to have someone.
Yeah, I
there,
can't
but
make it
it's
tomorrow night either, but.
Nice, yeah.
Let me ask if she can.
Alright. Again, it's not required, and I can just take it on the day off, so.
And I'm so bummed I can't come this weekend either. I'm teaching a class in Mount Vernon.
Oh, okay.
But the event this weekend sounds wonderful. Do you want to talk about that?
We do, it's a little bit.
Oh,
later.
it's a little later. Thank you.
Well, it's, coming later.
Okay.
So, any concerns with that process then? Okay.
Thank you for acknowledging your Americans.
Let's see, next. Nations. I was looking for the big long list that we had and couldn't find it, but I do have,
Oh, yeah.
this is the list of proclamations we agreed to this year, I believe. And no, this is not, sorry.
That looks accurate,
We've looked at that document before.
and the list seemed accurate to me.
No, because we
What
didn't do.
time is what time is the city council meeting tomorrow?
7.
Thank you.
I think this is what we agreed to here.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, just fancy.
I think the other one we had a different one in December that we ended up not including. So if there's any changes that you would like to make, additions, subtractions, whatever.
If we cannot do even if we cannot do the Nowruz celebration that I mentioned, it would be nice to have at least 1 year we have a Nowruz proclamation in March. It falls on the equinox. So just a suggestion.
The spring.
Yes, yes, March.
And can you spell that name?
Multiple. So let's just go with the NAWRUZ. because everyone celebrate, spells it differently, so let's just go with that one for now.
Great. And, did you say multiple cultures?
Yes,
Yeah.
Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Western China, Uyghur region, Iran celebrates it.
Okay,
So there's like a lot.
and it was considered a new year.
Yes, it's considered a new year.
Okay.
Last year, actually, Bellevue had a proclamation. This year, yeah, so it would be nice if we have one as well.
Okay. How do commissioners feel about that? Scott, any thoughts?
Excuse me, I didn't hear that.
Oh, how do you feel about the Nowruz celebration?
I like it
Okay.
amongst everything else that we have. Yes.
And so equinox could be in March or April.
Did you say March?
It's March.
Yeah.
It's
I-
21st or 20th, it depends.
22nd, depending on when the,
Yeah,
Equinox falls.
yeah, with our quarter day.
yeah, it's, yeah. So Ramadan is falling in March and April again this year.
Well, this is last year's because I didn't update the table.
No, it
Oh,
will
but
still,
is, yeah, okay.
it always
Yeah, yeah.
slides, but it's still sometime around that time.
Okay,
It's just,
yeah.
I don't exactly know the dates, but.
Yeah.
Um, do we need to make a welcoming week proclamation?
It's up to you.
And we can continue the event. I'm not saying anything about that, just a proclamation part of it.
Did we make a proclamation?
We did.
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, there is like an immigrant day or something. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's,
Yeah. Refugee and immigrant, is June. I believe it's National Refugee Month and Immigrant Heritage Week.
yeah, because I remember seeing a sign at the Port of
September, I think,
Seattle.
right?
Yeah.
Is that when I came? Was that?
Mhm.
But that's not the immigrant.
I think that is what, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
because
what it's
welcoming
called.
is about, being about welcoming immigrants, but, so it is sort of.
I feel like immigrant day was like sometime recent because I remember walking in the office and I saw that sign like, oh, they're celebrating me. I just joked around and just walked away. So it must have been sometime in October or September. I don't know.
So June is World Refugee Awareness Month.
Oh,
And then there's World Refugee Day, June 20th.
Is December, when is Disability Awareness Month?
It is, I think, in December.
Is it?
November.
oh, that might be a good one this.
And then we also have, so then January is allyship. Cause allyship and disability awareness kind of. are the
Disability
winter.
awareness is October.
Okay,
National Disability or Employment Awareness, the long name.
There's quite a few disability related ones.
Mhm.
There's like,
Oh. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
in the original list that I had, there were several.
yeah.
Have we acknowledged disability?
Well, I see, okay, so the
Oh.
reason that I'm thinking about this is because I can't remember exactly where I read it, but I feel like it was in MLT News and about city council and talking about the sidewalks. And,
Oh,
yeah, and working towards being more ADA aware in our city. Which when I pushed my kiddo in a stroller and when my grandma was in a wheelchair and she was with us, I super appreciated, and we would plan our routes based on what streets we could access with safety in mind.
Yeah.
And so since it's work that the city's already doing, I'd love to be able to raise awareness or appreciation for some of that. But otherwise the proclamation looks good to me, adding the spring.
Oh, so you're saying
equinox.
not to add.
Oh, add the spring equinox and then add a disability,
Yes,
something.
yes, it would be nice to have a disability acknowledged. That's what I thought you just.
I don't know when.
added or something.
Yeah, no, I don't know when, but,
So I was gonna say, so Disability Pride Month is in July, which marks the ADA's anniversary, which might be.
Oh, 88th anniversary might be a good
I
one.
was gonna say, since we're talking about
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
That's the
ADA.
one that that, you know, government entities.
July 26th.
Cities, counties use that are. And they should be putting out their annual calendar really soon for 2025. But you can probably look at.
Government
2024.
social media.
Government social media.com.
Cool.
Yeah, this is a great resource. And they have a ton of free resources. They have a calendar you can download, they have blogs. I'm registered, I can give you the
Okay.
calendar tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, so, disability Pride Month is July.
Yeah, July 26th apparently is the anniversary of ADA. Oh, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Is like too many on the list though? Do we need to remove?
So we had,
Because they will be printing daily proclamations.
what you said, you needed something about allyship month?
Oh, I was just trying to remember which month happened when, and
What is allyship? It's just like, I mean, I know what it means, but it's like, what are we allyship for what?
typically it's LGBTQIA plus.
Oh, we have,
But we have that as a month, but then allyship month is for all the people who stand in affinity with marginalized populations, historically marginalized.
margin in general, not like specifically, I see.
So July is good, we don't have anything
That would be good.
planned.
Mhm.
July, an allyship month. And then is January?
I don't know. Yeah, no, I was saying that in reference to trying to make my brain trigger to see which month was when, but,
I'm Googling allyship month, but
Oh,
so many different things pop
International
up.
Allyship Day is August. But,
that's what I was thinking is the school district, but they don't print a calendar. Parents have decided that calendars were an acceptable budget cut. And then everyone got mad when they didn't get their calendars. And so it's like yeah. Yeah. So some of the schools are talking about doing it as a fundraiser, but they had the month and it was on our bathroom. It was in my daughter's bathroom. So she knew when she had to go to school or not the next day.
Yes.
And,
so the
From my perspective, I'm sorry, from a comms perspective, I feel like allyship month or allyship should be every day.
Yeah.
Throughout the year.
It is, in one of the websites, it says June is LGBTQAI plus allyship month.
Okay.
So we could try to call that out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought there was a separate one that,
Was it-
Dr. Sauer
Yeah.
was telling me about.
yes,
Um,
Dr. Guzman knows.
Yeah.
So in December 12th, and I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit to, the Edmonds School District is, chartering a special education PTSA. And so it would be great to call attention to that work that they're doing, is creating a parent group to support students with special needs and IEPs and 504s across the district. And so their charter meeting is on December 12th.
To give the disability proclamation to them.
Potentially
That's-
could be,
yeah,
yeah,
that's-
to acknowledge their work.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be.
And then raise awareness about the work that they're creating, the programs that they're creating to sponsor.
and maybe we can also acknowledge paraeducators somewhere in the sentence. I don't know, because I can feel lately I'm impressed by them. As I hear their stories, it's like, God.
Is there I think there's something in December for disability proclamations.
Oh, ADA is only, no, ADA is all kinds of disability, right? Not just,
Physical, right, not just the kind you can see, but like,
ADA include,
Right.
okay, all right.
right.
Because they always at the port, ADA, oh, the ramps, that's what I was
Yes.
thinking, but it does include everything.
Yeah.
So it will-
International Day of Persons with Disabilities.
Okay.
I think we can stick with the anniversary of ADA. Instead of,
Yeah, in July.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a good one.
But if you wanted to call out this year,
oh.
Right, in
she's-
December.
in
is-
December.
Yeah. Their charter meeting is December 12th
We could,
at the Mountlake Terrace Library. Because
Yeah.
that is the central location for parents to access in the district.
You want me to share that as part of my report?
Wonderful,
I
thank
could do
you.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've got my liaison
Yeah.
report.
So basically, you're recommending an additional proclamation for December.
Or if,
You just wanna get
Aaron.
the word out, right?
yeah,
And-
yes. So if Aaron would share out that this is happening on December 12th at the library next door to where our council meetings are happening, that would be great
Well,
too.
maybe if you want to show them our appreciation, but if we have the budget, we give them food at the library, like when they, like to, I don't know. If they're having a meeting there, maybe we can just be the group that gives them the snacks or whatever, I don't know, something.
What time is the event again?
Our Zoom is 5:30 to 7:30, but I don't think that's when they were planning to start the meeting.
Who did you say these people are? Or
The
they-
Edmonds Special Education PTSA.
Would they want, publicity, like for social media, if we were to take their photos
Wonderful.
of them having their meeting at the
Yes,
library,
yeah.
post on our social media,
That would be great.
and then we could tag it in the school district.
Yes,
Ooh,
yes.
should we ask Mountlake Terrace News, or did you already do that? Because
I
we're
haven't
there?
yet. I haven't yet. The parents who are running with this are like doing all of their own social media and collaboration posting. And so my support to their efforts has been from getting PTA to like follow through and do things even though they're in transition phases.
Oh,
to-
they're already on
Yeah.
King 5 News.
They were. And then I got called from the state PTA saying, what's going on? We don't know about this. And I'm like, well, you should know about this. Here's all the times where I've asked you about them. But yes, they did a feature in King 5 News. Yeah. Thank you. 5:30 to 7. Yes. And it'll be hybrid on Zoom and in person at the library. And charter membership is $35, and you go down in the documents as being a charter founder for their organization of nonprofit status. And yeah, and then membership dues in the future will be $10 per person.
And sorry if I
Yeah.
wanna make sure that I
Yes.
have stuff, so only for, I guess, who would be a member?
Anyone who is in the community, a parent, a student, or a teacher. But community members are a member of the Parent-Teacher Association,
How do you define community? Someone living in the Edmonds School District?
or whose family is in Edmonds School District. Yes. So people are welcome to invite their grandparents and extended family and friends to register and help them get started. Their main focus is to create community within parents of children with special needs and to build connections and resources, because when you're looking for a doctor or a therapist or something, then you can talk to a group of people who've already been there.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of members whose kids are in high school and aging out of the program. And so they're joining as they understand the importance of having people who've already been through this path to help guide discussions.
If the guest has any comments to make us do, you ask her. Or do we wait until the end of the meeting?
I think we can't ask our guests can't interject on their own, but they can be invited to speak by a commissioner.
Is that so? Oh, do you have any comments? or anything that we talked? Anything that we talked so?
Currently, I'm not, I was just thinking of what you were doing the volunteering, and I was also thinking of the disability, and I was just kind of thinking like, where are the Black people in Mountlake Terrace? That's just something I was just thinking about, and yeah, I just really love your approach where you're just trying to get to people, because like for me, I volunteer at the Ethiopian Community Center and that's in Rainier. So like that's where
I was gonna ask you if you're Habesha.
Yes, I am.
But I was like, that's inappropriate.
I am.
I was gonna ask you, is there a Habesha community here?
Yeah, so we had a cousin that lived there. I know there's an Ethiopian, across the street from us. And I know there are in Mountain Terrace in Snohomish County, there are Ethiopians and Eritreans but since I drive to Rainier for like the events, like we do like the New Year events, the children events, the Black History Month, like all these things, like I've done with them there. And so I was just trying to think that as well. And yeah, I'm interested in like disability work as well.
But if you have connection in the city of Mountlake Terrace, it would be like really we do have like a proclamation for Black History Month.
I don't know people in Mountain Terrace that are, I don't, I don't know, I was born, in Seton, Washington, and then raised in Mountain Terrace, but it's like, I don't know, I leave Mountain Terrace.
Yes,
I
leave Mountlake Terrace to get injured as well.
We're only 4 square miles. Our city is small.
There's no restaurants even. I know there's one restaurant opening now, the
Yes.
first Ethiopian restaurant. Yeah, I was driving, it's in Linwood. I don't know if you know where Grocery Outlet is.
Yes.
That compound
Yeah.
by the McDonald's and stuff, that area with the Dollar Tree. So they're one of the buildings by Domino's. There's a Domino's
Yeah.
there. That's gonna be an Ethiopian restaurant
I've
there.
been driving in Northgate.
Yes,
and
I
Yeah.
know.
I love it, but my family's late to really have to drive to
Yeah, I
Northgate.
know.
I'm like, yes.
It's always like Northgate or like Cherry Street in
Yeah.
Seattle, so there is one opening, I know that is,
Okay,
it's
good.
called it's like Ababa or something, I don't know, but it said coming soon, I don't know really the people. But I took a picture of it, cause I was like, oh, that's a new thing, and so that's kind of like the extent that I know, and I know there's like, different people that are doing their own thing, like there's a lot of adult family homes that, Ethiopians have. I know that's something in Mountain Terrace as well,
So that might be a
Connect
good
with them.
connection.
yeah, I'm not in that
Yeah.
like business.
Right.
Of like, kind of a thing. Like, I mean, of course, we're friends with people that are, but I think, I'm not sure exactly like. Yeah, I'm also thinking, I'm like, I know there's one, the Rainier one, and I'm just like, what would that look like here in that way? Like, I know there's no like Ethiopian, is there Ethiopian church? There they are.
So there's
one in
one,
Linwood.
Yeah, there's a Linwood one, by
Yeah.
Trader Joe's,
And-
kind of, like, yeah.
there's a church in Edmonds, in Esperance,
Okay, yeah, I think.
off of 84th.
Yeah, I know, I'm pretty sure I know the
Yeah.
Linwood one, I'm pretty sure, I don't go to the Edmonds one often. But yeah, I know those are a little newer.
Actually, the one across from the Linwood Convention Center has been there for a long time. I mean, at least, and
Yeah,
can be maximum 50.
yeah, there's another Linwood one. Oh, okay, I know what you're
Yes.
talking about, you're talking about the one at the Linwood Center, okay, yeah, there's one by, like Trader Joe's.
Yes.
Is that Linwood still?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
like kind of like.
Oh, yeah, it
Trader
is
Joe's
Linwood.
Yeah, it's a little hidden.
Okay,
Yeah.
There's
hidden,
one there.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be nice to connect with that community as well.
Yeah, we, just to add that we are we have been made connections with the West African Center in Linwood, but I know it might not.
It's
represent-
East Africa.
Yeah, right, I know, there's.
Yeah, I mean,
different-
It's a whole continent.
I-
Yeah.
it's not East African, but like,
Yes.
there's that, and then, and then there's the West African restaurant in town.
yeah.
But you're absolutely right, and, it's temporarily closed.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
by my house,
Yeah, I
and
saw
I don't know
that.
why
I know
they're
what you're
closed.
talking about.
I went there once and then they shut down, maybe they just didn't like me.
But,
Is that Montana or something?
Hadian.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's West African
Got it.
cuisine.
but just interested to know, like, do you feel like there's a community here that's not being recognized from the East African?
Or can you help us connect with them?
Yeah.
Or should I just stop by them?
Because
I can
foundation.
I'm hiding. Last time I did basic, what language was that? So my accent was that bad.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'm trying to think through like what that would look like.
Even if it is just meeting with some people from that community, come and tell us about your life in Mountlake. If you don't think too big, because that sometimes paralyzes people. Even if it is just a group of people.
Or to go get coffee. We're happy to do that.
Yeah, and we're also hosting community conversations with different community groups, ethnic groups.
I think like there was someone, a church, I think church would be the main thing to, I know, like I'm like iffy on it, but I know like cops did come to talk about like a parking stuff, like at the Linwood one, and then they were like, oh, this is really cool, and that kind of stuff happened. That was at the church, but like, I think that's the best way to engage.
Do we have
Because
any more of our
community is
cops and clergy invitations?
I have one on my desk I can grab, yeah.
Yeah, because we're doing in a couple of weeks, there's a monthly meeting, or what is it, about
Quarterly.
8-week?
Quarterly.
Meeting called Cops and Clergy, where we just recently gave out a bunch of invitations to local clergy, because there's usually cops, but not very many clergy. I mean,
There's been chaplains from the fire department.
right, but I mean, not from the actual
Right.
other community
Yeah.
places of worship, so, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and if you give me your email, if you're interested, I can email you.
Is there like other communities? I guess I would rather be involved in that type of a thing.
Mhm.
If like, I guess, who else goes to like communicate with them?
What, at Cops and Clergy?
Or
well-
I guess, is there other events outside of cops and clergy, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, there's other events that happen, but where I was just thinking, since you know, maybe you could communicate with the church about, that.
Or we could get their contact info.
Yeah, we get their contact information. So
I think
we
I'll
can
give
invite
you
them.
contact as well, because I don't think I'm my mom is the attendee of the church more than me. Yeah.
So we have for example, there's a mosque in the community that we just scheduled something, they just come and we just do talk.
Like here.
Yeah,
Or there. We can
Or
go-
if they
go-
there,
we can
yeah.
Go to you, other organizations.
That would
Yeah.
be.
We met for dinner one time.
Mhm.
And got together.
so don't think too official.
Yeah.
Just to like kind of get to know them.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Connection
that
and
would
say,
be Mountlake, like, I guess DEI commission, like.
I can send you info. I can send you like a
Okay.
little invite. So basically all these posters on the wall are, we were preparing before this meeting, for some community conversations we're gonna host, with the mosque, and then we have a cops and clergy meeting coming up, but we're also planning to meet with other community groups after the new year. We don't have them all scheduled yet, but it's basically just to build relationship and get to know each other, build trust. And then get to know what's going on in the different communities, like where they could use help, how we can do better as a city to help them understand what's going on. So that's kind of where we are, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. For me, I'm like, I wish I was like more, I guess, involved in like the religion aspect, just to, cause like for me, when I go to the ECS, it's not religious. Like when I go to Ethiopian Community Center, I just go help, and I help with like history, Black History Month, or we do Ethiopian New Year's events, and we try to like include all the religions too. That's the thing where we're like, when we do events, we try to have like speakers of different like, tribal languages too. That's the thing. It's not just Amharic.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be religious.
No.
Yeah, that's why,
Yeah.
it's just like, that's where.
It's
like,
one
you
easy
get
way
people.
to
Yeah,
target
exactly.
people.
Yeah,
because there's a built community there, so,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and we have been, so with all of these proclamations, we have been trying to, as best we can, either host an event related to it or partner with another organization that's doing an event. So we don't have to do them all ourselves, but we try to get people to go to things locally. Black History Month last year.
There was an event. No, Juneteenth.
It was Juneteenth. There's a big event that's gonna happen again this year. And I know that's not East African per se, but it's more of a bigger community. But if you're interested in that at all, there's a group that's planning that already.
Yeah, the West African Center participated in that.
Yes, they did. Yeah. And, but for Black History Month, I can't remember. I know that some commissioners helped with a reading.
There was the,
Oh, we had a
Library.
speaker.
Briar's Library, was it a,
Maybe
no, I'm
Evans,
I might be
Evans.
mixing, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was in
anyway,
Mountlake Terrace the year
so
before.
we need to decide, like, once we get the proclamations nailed down, we
Yeah.
have to kind of think about like, what is the thing, what's our plan around
Right.
that, so.
Is that what we're moving on to, is
Yes.
planning for
Well,
events?
first, let's just finish.
I don't know, you can put me for Juneteenth if you want to, like,
Yes.
I use
we're
like
taking it
communication,
too.
and
Oh.
see like kind of like who's involved in
Sure,
checks.
yeah, there's a
I'd
really
like to
great. Yeah.
It's like, let me see how I can connect you into my network.
You sound like a threat.
There is a public record of this meeting, if ever you needed that. All right, so proclamations. Yes.
We've gotten a roof, we have a proposal instead of welcoming week, maybe to do a refugee month or immigrant heritage month. I haven't quite figured out the refugee month
Mhm,
part of that yet.
mhm.
June, okay. And then, so one of those. And Disability Pride Month is July, so where would you like to go with the refugee and immigrant?
I like the idea of doing welcoming week one more time before expanding beyond that, because we had our event and it was great. And I think we need to invest one more time to solidify that it's an annual kind of an occurrence for welcoming week. I think that we had some participation from the people who are being served in our community. I think that the event that we had was wonderful, and it brought people together who have common participants, but don't know each other. And so I think there's some collaboration to still happen there, but I think continuing the focused outreach to our broader community.
Right.
And that the landscape may look different next year,
Mhm.
and being aware of that, of how we can be supportive
Mhm.
as a city.
I like doing it again.
Okay, so would we have a motion to adopt the calendar plus Nowruz and Disability Pride Month?
I would move to add those two things and adopt the calendar as presented.
Chair, oh, you're not chair.
I'm acting chair, I'm kind of,
acting chair
I'm
today.
subbing. Is there, would someone like to make that motion
I move to approve the calendar as is, like the way we added.
with the additions?
Yes, we-
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? All right, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Any opposed? All right,
All right, so I'm sorry, it was Krum and then
Teresa.
Teresa.
both of us were? Yeah. All right, thanks. Okay, I don't have slides for the rest of the things, so, let's see. We have an event that we're hosting.
This
Well, not
this
we're
Saturday.
sponsoring. Sponsoring.
Edmund School District.
Oh,
We're sponsoring an event on Saturday. I'll be, sorry,
sorry, I messed up the acronym. That's all.
is anyone going to be there?
I can be there.
So,
Councilmember Murray. And I can be there.
Blaine's out of town. Scott's not feeling well.
What are we talking about here? Sorry.
the
just
Saturday event,
spaced
Saturday,
out.
This
What-
Saturday, yeah.
This Saturday?
Yes.
Mhm.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, much too early.
So there's, we have 3 people who can attend. The question is, do we want a booth or do we want to just mingle and make sure that we're present for the chef demonstration and support that in some way? Or do we want to set up a booth also, and what would we want to do there? We could invite people to community conversations and I could make a poster.
Like
for
we
that.
did at, do that, like we did at the welcoming week. I think it might not be a bad idea to have a spot.
I think we have a spot, I just, with just a few people, I wanted to make sure we could manage
If
whatever.
you tell me the hours, I can probably stop by for a period of time.
Okay,
10 to
It's
2.
like 10 to 2, okay.
And how,
There's like
how,
Is the event
how,
11
how
to
far
1?
ahead do you want me to be there? I mean, if
um,
it's 10 to 2,
let me figure out what we're
okay.
bringing, but maybe just 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we probably don't need to bring like all
I think just like
everything.
the tablecloth and some kind of poster,
Mhm.
some handouts, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
The welcome. I don't know.
yeah,
We can talk about, I can.
yeah,
If I'm
Okay.
better, I'll be there.
okay, but don't stress about it, Scott, we need you to be happy.
Yeah, no, it's fine,
So,
Scott. We're
no, I love these.
Um,
I love these events.
But, hey Scott, could I pick up the postcards from you tomorrow?
Yeah,
Is there a time I could swing, like on my way to work or something?
you
Or-
could, or
I'm sure.
yeah, you could do that. What time do you think? Well, we'll figure it out.
Where is it?
All right, I'll text you.
Saturday?
Okay.
At the
Sorry?
high school?
Where is it Saturday?
The high school, not like Terrace High School.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Okay,
Oh, it's in our proclamation. It's right there. I just read it. You were welcome
Yeah.
to that copy. I'm trying, I might have a lead on somebody to come receive the proclamation. She has a potential conflict, but she might be able to squeeze in both.
okay. Great. I can't get into my doodle right now, but, I know several of you have signed up to help with the community conversations on December 4th and 5th. We had a training tonight and I scheduled another one for 9 AM on Monday. I can do another one the week after Thanksgiving if y'all can't make it. But basically,
Do we need to go to another one after?
no.
It's just, you just need to go.
No, I can give you, I'll email an update once we finalize. We had a really productive training right before this meeting and had a lot of great input from those who participated to make it a little more fun and engaging. But the posters you see on the wall are part of the process and, but we just did a group facilitation earlier, so that's what we'll do again the next time. Juneteenth, like I mentioned, the planning group is actively meeting, so Andrew from our staff and William from the commission are part of that and definitely can connect you. Is it Besa? Besa, thank you. So that's underway, and I would love to talk about any other events that you would like to propose for next year, because Andrew is in the middle of starting to plan his agenda. Yes.
Since we are planning on trying to get the engage the Ethiopian community,
Mhm.
what if we have a small, like the one we did for the masjid at the restaurant to celebrate like Enkutatash, like some like it will be like a small event, some just, and it won't be Ethiopian restaurant because I don't think we're open yet until then, but
Here,
Well, we could order
New Year's in
takeout.
September.
yeah,
Yeah.
September.
I was gonna say,
So we
yeah,
would like
passed
2025. That's why
Oh,
we
okay.
need to plan in advance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on the committee for the ECS, like the ECS New Year, so it might flash a little bit, so that's why I'm like, I don't know.
It doesn't have to be on the actual like day of Enkutatash, but at least we can, the week before, the week after.
The month of.
Just to show them, because the same thing we did with the Muslim community, we didn't do it on Ramadan because they're gonna start fasting.
Right.
We did it week before Ramadan.
I know Shoreline had done like this, like, they had Ethiopian food for lunch or something, like, I know that they did something like that, that was really cool, I saw on Facebook. I think that was this year. And so like they were trying to do those kind of things to incorporate it, cause there's a lot of, like, I know Shoreline's not like here, but I know there's a lot of Ethiopian folks that are in that like border area.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't require so much prep, obviously, but just an idea.
Mhm. Okay. I like that. So that would be in September, you said?
Yeah, it's sometime in September or October, depending on if before or after we are doing it.
Do you know if there's been any more discussion about night markets?
There is a strong push.
I
for night
know.
markets. A very strong push.
What is it, Mike?
It is only mentioned
Every
many
other-
times at every
It was
council
after
meeting.
after we had the transit event,
And so that's what
Which was
makes
a
me think
night
it's
market.
August to
Yes.
October.
which
and
was
so
a
the
night market and everybody.
That's what they called it. I don't know that that's what I would have thought of it.
Well,
as,
because it
but-
went till 8 o'clock at night, I think, but, yeah, I mean, there's particularly a few council members that were like super.
So it's
Super
nice.
enthusiastic.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, yes, yeah, super enthusiastic, but it was a really, I mean, honestly, that was really a really fun event, so.
And what would you like to see if we did a night market? How would you like to see it organized?
I just would like I think that the commission should be involved in attendance or in the process so that, we can connect with our, because it's a great spot to connect with our community.
I mean, it would be really fun to have something where we could bring different diverse communities together for a night market event where we might have, you know, performances and, food and, that kind of a thing. So, I mean, that could get pretty complex depending on how many different groups we involve, but, it just seems like that would be a really great venue for that.
Yeah.
And it would be great to be able to use the transit parking lot again. That was a really good setting, wasn't it? But yeah,
I mean, yeah.
probably not. It'd probably be a park or something.
I was chatting with, our economic development team and how a retail pop-up and culinary pop-ups could be a great, draw for new business and pop-ups in like places that might later on down the line be developed or sold as a shop or a store or an eatery or a restaurant, coffee house. So maybe the night market and our economic development goals could kind of be married together.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
And the, pull retailers, diverse retail, small business owners, artisans, retail folks to do a pop-up that's under that night market banner.
Mhm.
And maybe, eventually permanently, find a home for their business here.
Yeah. We've got all these little spaces under the apartment buildings. We gotta fill.
Yes.
And yeah, the draw is always like a diverse food lineup, whether it's food trucks or, eateries and cool like live performances, by different cultural.
And also, craft, items and.
Yeah.
Are these ideas like going to someone and then he decides, or like, I guess, how does this process?
So I'm the staff liaison, by the way. My name's Carol, and I didn't get to introduce myself. And,
She's actually from the city.
Yeah.
No, like,
but one of my colleagues, and Sienna's one of my colleagues. Then another colleague, Andrew, is the event coordinator. And so he already pretty much has on his work plan to figure out how to do a night market, but it's an expensive proposition. So we're just trying to figure out how to pull that off and what that looks like. So I will work with him on the ideas we present tonight about like what involves a bigger group of staff to put on as well as the commission, and what are some smaller things that we can do. So not everything has to be a huge event, and some are just like, working with the library to host a speaker and bring people over for something like that. So
Is the cadence that Andrew's thinking for the night market just a one-off
we
or a
have,
series, like a summer series?
I mean, I think ideally it would be more than once, but I have some experience with night markets and depending on what you want, right?
Yes.
Like what the scope and scale is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So maybe just starting in, I can pull the proclamation list up again if that's helpful, but I just wondered if we wanted to.
So, since I'm not a student, so it's.
It would be nice to, because we have this in children's thing.
To get them there.
I mean, not that everything has to follow proclamations, but just to trigger your minds. Is there anything we want to do we have both MLK and Black History Month coming at the beginning of the year. And Edmonds, has a big event for Martin Luther King on the day. Usually at the waterfront. Who is that group? Who puts that on? Is that,
Sorry.
Access Fund? Who puts that on?
Oh,
Martin Luther King event.
I think it's Lyft.
Oh, Lyft, right. And then, you know, like everyone from Mountlake Terrace goes to that, so there's no sense in competing.
But we did have good attendance to the humanities speaker that we had last year for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For Black History Month.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of, the speakers are all different, so
Mhm.
wouldn't be the same subject probably, but, that might be worth looking into what humanities has to offer.
We're still talking about potential events, right?
Yes.
Does it include events that we might support instead of just doing it?
Yes.
I forgot when the powwow in Daybreak Center is. Is it always in November or is it?
It happened already, I think.
Yeah, it's already happened, I know, but
Yes.
maybe if it is overlapping somehow with Native American Heritage Month, maybe we can just support them a little. I don't know.
Well, I don't know what the
It's not-
longer term plans are for the next year plans for the Edmonds, Indian American Heritage Parent Group. I don't know what their plans
That's
are.
the group that who came.
Mhm, that came.
I mean, ideally, we will have a powwow here.
Right, but I just, at this point, they're just trying to identify students that belong in that, grouping. Cause
Okay.
my kid should be in that and wasn't identified in that population. And I didn't know, and I'm a pretty engaged person in the community and the school district, and I didn't know until they were here, so helping them raise awareness too.
Mhm. I think, didn't they collaborate with Evans Community College to do a powwow, but then this year they couldn't make it happen?
Yes, they've had some staff transitions. They've also done things in October for Remembrance Day for to remember the Native schools, the Indian schools. Canada does a really good job about honoring and identifying that history.
I think we should call it genocide. A little politically.
Okay.
It's in October.
Mhm.
So October or November, depending on when people are available. Or supporting a local event if they do it in Evans or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that might actually raise awareness so that they might identify the ones that were not aware. Because my friends in Mountlake Terrace, they also didn't know. That's why I took pictures and texted her saying, send your kids.
Yeah. Well, and people who are Native that are in like American territories, who have a history or heritage with the American territories, are not identified in the same ways because of the legalities between identified nations and nations with tribal agreements with the US government versus just providing services to everybody who needs them. But I mean, we can get political, but we're not going to. We're gonna move along to events and things. So I know we have the event coming up at the mosque on December 4th. Is there a potential to do a dinner or during Ramadan in the 2025 calendar? Is that on the discussion list?
You mean
Already?
like
Or
last year where?
Well, like last year, or where we actually,
Go.
now that we've met each other and maybe we can continue building our relationship,
Yeah, we can talk
the
about
partners with.
that. We also need to find a way to get their banners up.
Yes.
Yes, and they're also going to ask again, can you have police around in Ramadan?
Mhm. Yeah, that was no problem.
So it might be actually really nice if we reached out to them about that.
Mhm.
Do you want the police service like last time? Like, before they ask, that might be actually like a nice gesture. That might actually build trust.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that something that we can wait until December 5th to talk with Sergeant Porter about, or is it something outside of that?
Oh, that's not, I just talked to the chief, it's not.
Okay.
It was no problem when I brought it up. Yeah, I think the dinner, we just have to figure out, are we providing dinner? Are we, I just have to figure out like, what is our contribution? Is it there? Is it here? Are we just participating? I need to figure out like budget and logistics.
But even if we can do something very small, but I don't know how much it cost last time when we went to Shahi.
Yeah,
But if it's not too much, even if something like that, I know it's symbolic, but it adds value.
mhm.
So if we could do another dinner together, or if we could provide a portion of the meal, like, is that?
Yeah, my only concern is, they're not the only religious organization in town.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
Right, and so I'm just trying to figure out, like, it's important to build relationship.
Yes.
And the community conversation coming up is going to be a really great start.
Yes.
Mhm.
And maybe that can help us understand where we fit in and like what the next conversation is or the next event is.
Mhm.
So,
Maybe this year we focus on visiting them during the iftar dinner that they have. Last time I didn't go. I think you went to them.
No, I didn't go. Scott and his wife went,
Okay.
and,
Maybe just
Councilmember,
presence.
Payne Donovan went.
yeah.
And,
Maybe we can just ask them again to remember, like, instead of us hosting, so we just say, can we come again last?
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that my thought is that we continue building in the relationship.
yes.
We don't need to ante up extra. I want to make sure that we're cognizant and we're not like, well, we did it once, we're good. We
Yeah.
checked that box and we can move along now.
Yeah.
And you're right about the other religious organizations. I just don't know. We don't have a synagogue.
We do have a very multicultural church, St. Pius, which, although it's Catholic, it serves a big Hispanic population, and a lot of other communities go there. So I'm working hard to get us. It's been hard. I'm hoping that they'll come to the cops and clergy, and then we can like talk further about meeting with the larger portion of their congregation. But it's, even though we have some connections there, it's been hard to find the right person. Yeah, or get some time. So
Yeah.
By
any
and
chance
there's
were
a couple of
you?
Vietnamese churches.
Okay.
Korean, sorry,
Korean.
Korean.
Mhm. Were you, do you know if anybody was able to connect with the St. Pius Craft Fair that happened recently? I think it was last weekend.
No, I
I
kind of
didn't
wanted
make
to, and then
that.
I didn't get there.
No.
Make it there either. I tried to go to the Korean church, the on 56th. That used to be First Baptist.
The preschool,
Yes.
I went there.
Yes. So do you know Dennis Lord and his wife
No.
Diane?
I went there as a student when I was.
Yeah, well, they used to run the preschool. They've retired to Vermont to be with their oldest child.
Yeah.
But so I've tried to go, and there was a bit of a language barrier, and there was a bit of a, why are you here? Why are you trying to give us stuff? Kind of thing. So if somebody knows someone who participates in that congregation, that would be really great.
I don't, but language is a challenge. I might be able to facilitate somebody helping us with the
That'd be great.
conversation. Yeah.
Do we have any connections with the Jewish community here? I know we don't have a temple, but if not, I can just knock on doors asking, are you Jewish? But that might be perceived
So I do know some folks who attend school in Mountlake Terrace that participate in synagogues. There are none in Mountlake Terrace, but I can find out more.
Great.
They run the Pinewood Derby.
I think my neighbor is Jewish, but I never asked her.
Maybe people live here.
I know some families who attend Terrace Park, who have attended and maybe still attend Terrace Park, that are participating in the synagogue.
So let me just give a
Again, it's
little.
not about religion, it's about easy target.
Oh, no, 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 I know, I was just thinking, like, I was just wondering, how do you like connect after that, like, when people are like, hey, are you this? It's like, how do you move forward from that?
We
We'll
want to get
figure
to
it
know
out.
you. We want to get to know you and find out more and get curious. Do you want to have coffee?
You know Elmira, like I want to be your friend.
Looney Tunes, the cat, Elvira, who hugs the cat to death. That's what Karev is trying to be.
I don't know.
Cat.
I want to be your friend, I want to
I
love
will-
you.
I will find it and send it to you because that is exactly what he's doing outside of the meeting. But moving on.
Well, let's just say that January through March will be hopefully very involved in community conversations. So I would suggest that we don't do anything too big during that time and I will be also launching our city university program.
Oh, yay.
Or whatever we're gonna call that. And so that'll be like a big lift time for,
You said January through March.
yeah, we'll continue community conversations.
Okay, so for the nervous thing, it's gonna be in March, but what we can do is we can ask if the city can provide the space, they can do the work.
Oh, that's, yeah.
So that the city wouldn't have to.
No, that's not like too big of a thing. I'm just saying.
So because, yeah. I don't want it to be like too much burden on the city or whatever.
The space, I mean, I was looking at your venue reservations.
We'll figure that out. And then, so then we have maybe a small thing for Black History Month. Last year I think Lunar New Year is something we should think about, but we really need to connect with the community on that.
Well, and it was hard because Edmonds had such a big, investment in their
That's
event.
right. We need to maybe just figure out how to partner with them on that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Edmonds really went
Yes.
in on Lunar New Year. And then if we do a Children's Day and pick a day now, it would be easier to connect with teachers to prepare their kids and families.
Yes.
Because lead time is.
All right, and then
Tough.
Children's Day in April.
Yeah.
Um,
When is spring break this year?
do we want to,
Second.
Which
So-
is unusual.
for Children's Day, did you want it to be more, like start earlier in the day and have sort of sit in the council seats? And,
So if you ask me, yes, they need to sit in the council seats, but I don't want to make the council members uncomfortable.
no, but I mean, like, if it's
Please
before
have
the-
children come and sit in my seat.
I mean, if it was before the meeting, and
Right.
we had sort of a mock city council. They got to meet the I don't know that all the council members would be able to come during the day, but like, we could have some of the council there, introduce themselves and ask them to legislate about a couple of topics.
Yeah, so for context, that's what happens in Turkey every year. President gives their seat, everyone give their seat to children and the children run the country.
But I mean, there could be like a bit of like, discussion about a topic that's,
Yeah.
you know, like we're talking about middle housing, or we're talking about, you know, I don't know, some topic that's more understandable.
Well, like sidewalks. Can I ride my bike to school? Can I walk
There
to
you go,
school?
right.
My grandmother brought up sidewalks last.
Yes, she did.
Bring that up.
I
Um,
loved that.
so we could have like a, you know, short discussion about some problems, and then, and maybe it's a presentation, like they're all sitting in the seats and staff give a presentation and we ask them, make some decisions, right? It'd be like a mock council meeting.
If that becomes too much work, even if you just say, what's your vision about this? Like, how would you fix, like, what would you fix in this?
Mhm.
Like, just asking them,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just playful.
So I think there's a lot of groundwork to, Brighton would be all in on that, and I don't know about the public schools. But Brighton would get their kids here during the school day and make it happen. If that was,
I think we could even do it after school though. I mean,
Yeah.
school gets out at 3:15.
Yeah.
Like, you know, most of our kids. I don't know.
Madrona's like 4, right?
But like,
Isn't Brad Elementary kind of late too, or? they-
Yeah, Brighton is a later.
Yeah, and the middle schoolers actually, high
Technically
school
not.
get out even earlier,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I don't know, maybe there's an opportunity to do something in the
Mhm.
afternoon, like
Okay.
after they get out, but like before.
Before council meeting starts.
Yeah.
Like you could even stage it and kind of like the elementary or the high schoolers first and then the middle schoolers, and so
So
that's how they get out of school.
one of the, when I was in Redmond, we had a government day for, high school. It was like a whole high school class, like civics or history or something. And, it must have been their whole grade, because there were like 50 or 60 of them, I don't know. But anyway, we, like several staff committed their whole day to, we started off similar with a presentation about a certain topic in council chambers, and then we broke out into groups, into different conference rooms, and had like them break up. And so one group focused on planning, and one talked about policy, and, you know, so we just had these different things, and at the end of the day, they had to report out to city council.
That might be a little too much for the kids though.
No, right, but like if you wanted different age groups, like high
Mhm.
school could do something a little more involved, middle school or elementary school could do something else, but
Actually, that will go with the CU, City University.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was exciting.
Anyway.
Picking up the videos right now.
so maybe we can munch on like what you want to do with that a little bit more, but certainly, I mean, last year was really, I thought, impactful for the
Yeah,
council
it was
to have all
really-
those different children groups come forward.
We can do a fun, maybe, I mean, all these ideas are great, maybe like a little fun side idea is to do like kid versus adult, like, are you smarter than a sixth grader? And they could all be like government related questions or city related questions,
Mhm.
like 3 or something, like it wouldn't be like a big long thing, but, you know.
Yeah.
3 branches of government, and then the kid would answer. And the adult would be like, I don't know.
I've got the buzzers.
Perfect.
Well, let's do baby steps, right? So,
If we pick a date, then we can invite a school group some school groups and see what their engage their level of
Yeah.
willing to participate.
let's see what it is.
Fridays are early release for middle school district,
Yeah,
elementary school at least.
yeah, all this, all
All
the,
schools.
So it looks like April 23rd is,
that council date.
well, that's the Children's Day in April. And when would the council meeting be? Would be the 24th or the 17th, but 17th would be a work session, the 24th is an official meeting.
Okay.
Also take your kid to work day.
Oh, the 24th?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it feels like a good day to like,
Yeah.
maybe we can involve staff a little too, if they have kids that they want to.
You said April 24th is the council,
Is the take your kids to work day.
but also.
Oh,
it's the
and
same as
the council.
Also take your kid to work day.
Oh.
But I'm gonna mark 24th on my calendar because that's the potential day of events. Yay, thank you for bringing it up. That's just, like, in Turkey, I do not celebrate any national day. That's the only one.
That's the one. I love it, well, you sold me on it, so I wanna see it come back.
Yeah, so maybe, do you wanna, how do you all feel about Vanita talking to Brighton School or another
So-
school?
My only concern is not a big concern.
Yeah.
If we keep doing it with the private school, would that look elitist?
So last year I invited all of the schools, and because of the way spring break fell, it
Okay.
wasn't possible. So inviting
So it wasn't
a
necessary.
choir, right? So inviting the choir to come back and to sing during the meeting and inviting Brighton during the school day, like we're stepping stone,
Okay.
potentially.
Is this gonna be spring break week?
No, spring
Okay.
break is the second week of April,
Okay.
so we're good this year. I think it was earlier in the month last year, and so it was during spring break, or right when they got back from spring.
Okay, well, let's think about, who we want to invite for mock government after school
Okay.
and who we would want to bring in for a short presentation and or song or dance for council. It's gotta be small space, cause.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, all right, so that's April,
Mhm.
AAPI.
We'd love to see if we could talk to Kermit about the Hawaiian music that he was doing last year
Oh, yeah.
at the Linwood Convention Center.
Mm.
And potentially the steel drum group.
Like a little event.
Like if they could do a little, okay.
Like, at some indoor place, like the library or like,
Yeah.
not during council meeting.
Right.
Yeah. Like we're gonna make all council meetings a party.
Talking about adding.
Can they make music at the library?
Yeah.
Is it allowed?
Yeah.
There's some rooms in.
So Pride Month last year, we focused on flag raising.
So City of Linwood is looking at backing the Edmond School District Skate Night
Oh, yeah,
more
the skate night.
intentionally this year.
Right.
Because the PTA council can't keep funding it long
Okay.
term. So,
Skate?
yeah, skate and bowl. So we had an LGBTQIA plus and allyship skate and bowl night at the Linwood Bowl and Skate. So we've had it 2 years in a row, partnership with the Edmond School District. So the City of Linwood is looking at being a larger sponsor for the event this year.
Are we trying to arm wrestle over this?
No, but if, no, but if the city of Mountlake Terrace was willing to like kick in for the
I know,
pizza
yeah.
and they kicked in the part for like the reservation and then council provided the insurance for PTA, then everybody gets a piece of the pie because the district would do the marketing.
Yeah.
And so then everybody's contributing.
All right, well, let us know more
Okay.
about what
Yeah,
it looks like.
Makes it
We've
easier.
had a first meeting with them and then picked kind of a date and we're getting some information from the bowling alley or the Linwood, the bowl and skate.
Okay, so it'd be a financial contribution of, are you thinking like hundreds, thousands?
Like 500, I think was
Okay.
the pizza and food, the food portion. That might be a nice. Not
Can we
like
do a flag raising here at City Hall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year we did a flag raising, the mayor spoke. Erin, did you speak?
I have to raise the flag.
You had the best cookies. My kid loved the cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Cookies were-
They were huge.
Did we already talk about the Juneteenth?
We kind of skipped
Okay,
over that
yes,
because the
okay.
event is like already in planning stages.
It's already in plan.
Yes,
We
like
just
the
repeated
committee
last
is
year.
already planning it, right? And
Oh,
that was what I understood.
On what we did last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's being led by
Snow.
Isaac Harrison and
Snow Isle again.
yeah, Snow Isle and Access. Yeah, so William.
Okay,
Part of that.
so I just wanted to make sure we
Yeah.
didn't like just.
We, we didn't skip it. It's already going.
Yeah, they started meeting like a month. Yeah.
Okay.
I have two ideas for Pride, just, this is maybe for future, because it would cost some money, but to have a city of MLT float in the Seattle Pride Parade.
Say that again, what?
To have a float in the Pride Parade, the Seattle.
A
Pride
float,
Parade,
oh.
a city float, because just to represent awareness, that would also be a cool community experience where we invite, community to build the float, but it takes money.
Yeah.
It's probably something in the future we'd have to budget out.
Mhm.
But if we do our flag raising out in front of City Hall, it'd be cool to have like a Pride community-owned pop-up. That maybe like only, you know, members of the LGBTQ plus community, business owners, artisans, and, you know, crafts people. Have a little pop-up, little food trucks.
Yeah, last time, I mean, that could be a weekend thing.
Mhm.
When is June 1st?
Might consider checking in with the Linwood DEI Commissioner Rowan is running the Edmonds Queer Youth Alliance group, and so they're a young adult who is a commissioner on that group, and has participated in the skate night on behalf of the organization that they represent, but my brother-in-law is friends with them, and so I've seen their posts on social media from a variety of like ways, and so I've seen it a lot more recently. And so they've already started planning some of their events for Pride Month for the coming year, so that might be a way to connect as well.
Did you say Linwood DEI?
Edmonds.
Or Edmonds DEI?
Yeah, Edmonds DEI, and it's Rowan, and I don't remember their last name, but I can find it. I have their contact information. And if I cannot find it, my brother-in-law.
Yes, we just never talked.
Between Benita and Karama, like,
Yeah.
everyone.
We know everyone, and Teresa, yeah. Between this room, we know a lot of people.
That sounds like a fun thing to do, because June 1st is a Sunday. But also could do it the following weekend on a Saturday. But it's nice to get the flag up on it
Yes.
first, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've noticed more and more cities are having their own Pride event that can be anytime in the month of June. Not the weekend of Seattle Pride, because that's too competitive. But it could be, it could be beginning or end. And a lot of cities are having a fair, a festival, you know, just a fun day.
Some cities have parades.
I think also just like politically, also just kind of like keeping that too, where it's like sometimes when you hear about that, people are like, oh, I don't wanna, like, my kids to be exposed to that kind of a thing. I feel like that is also, especially with the election stuff and not knowing how that is going, I think that, you know, might help in terms of just solidifying that this area is for that, you know?
I think in just building off this area, I mean, I think kind of, thinking about the school district covers like 5 jurisdictions. So
Yep.
thinking about how we can partner with some of the jurisdictions that we're already kind of intertwined with.
I think
a
it's
lot of
great,
this
great
work.
idea to support that.
Yeah, Linwood, Edmonds, Mountlake, Terrace, Briar.
Yeah.
Some
Woodway,
county, some
and then
Woodway.
unincorporated Snohomish County.
Yeah.
I know, Woodway. Which I didn't believe was a city until I heard of them in this context, because they're too wealthy to be in their own city. Sorry, we should keep going on our agenda.
Okay, and then, so we've covered Hispanic Latino Heritage Month. We haven't, that overlaps a little bit with the welcoming week time period.
That's another month that I've seen a lot of cities step up and throw a festival, a fair, a day of fun. It's interesting how it overlaps with welcoming week, but I think most cities last year did 2 separate events.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Also, it could be a night market theme.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
And-
up with this night market thing?
Sally would really like.
Did you go to Light Rail? It was really.
They had
it was
a
big light rail,
and my
she
kid
was
and it
probably
was wonderful. It was
Well, I can't- And,
Loteria?
but I do stay at night.
and so it was bingo in
Oh, yeah, the
Spanish,
bingo.
Portuguese,
Yeah.
and English.
Oh, I love
So
cool.
and so that was not as well attended as an event of it as it could have been,
But you could have bingo at a night market.
yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
Alright,
That'd be cool, cause like I think the food too, you can get more
Yeah.
food trucks that are related to that too, so it's like a whole theme, I love that as a theme.
yeah, and if we had like a stage,
Mhm.
while you're eating, you do your bingo, and then after dinner, there's dancing
Yeah.
and whatever, yeah. So,
Last year, we did not do anything about the Lunar New Year, right?
because we're,
The city of Edmonds really
Oh,
did, they are
but
all
the-
in on that, and so we promote theirs.
Okay, good.
Yes,
I just, again,
yes.
just didn't want us to
alright,
skip it.
and then welcome week, more of the same, but more promotion,
Yeah.
Yes,
because we have a great communications person.
well, and
I did a lot of welcoming week, for the city of Seatown this year, like from starting in June for Refugee Month and Immigrant Heritage. Yeah, and I worked with the welcoming week, national folks, and there's a lot of potential opportunity there. So, yeah.
We had a great event, it just, we didn't get a lot of people to show.
Yeah, so,
And, but
just-
we were in this transition where we didn't have a comms manager.
yeah.
But we did get a lot of really good, community, resource
Yeah.
people,
had-
Well, that's
participating.
the key is, I said the list was great and a lot, of partners and then, or, nonprofit org partners. And I think the key is to collaborate and cross
Mhm.
promote with all of the partners and with all of their audience.
Yeah.
And for advocates to start early.
Yeah.
Well, and now that we kind of have an idea of what it might look like, it's a little easier to go back to
Yeah.
your groups and be like,
Mhm.
you really should come to this. It's not just cause I went there and it was okay, so you should come.
Yeah.
And so,
And now we have connections with, for IRC, I think they did their own, like, they joined the CTAC one this year because they
Yes.
couldn't come to ours.
That's right.
But I know IRC is now trying to make connections in Snohomish County because a lot of people are being resettled here.
Mhm.
So, I can just email and say, hey, if you wanna meet people here, celebrate ours.
Yeah, that's right. IRC worked with the city of Seatown to host.
Yes.
the
Because when I
first time.
invited, Good is the lady who emailed you, Carolyn.
Oh, yeah.
She said, oh, Carolyn, we're going to the CTAC. I'm like, damn. So we can ask them, say, hey, you need to come to Snohomish County.
Yeah.
you went to CTEC last year, it's our turn.
We
We
can
find
kill
out
them.
what date it is.
Is welcoming week like just for like if you're new to Mountain Terrace, or I guess what is it?
The goal of it is to show not new to, like just new to America in a way. What kind of resources are available around here? So we invited like volunteers of America, of what kind of services they provide. So it's like a
Refugees
fair.
and immigrants specifically.
Well, and we defined new to the country as new as in you weren't born in Swedish Edmonds, right? Like new as in.
That's so funny, cause I was born in Swedish.
Yeah, but like new is,
It doesn't mean like just came here in the past year, but
Right.
just, you may not still be aware of all the things that are available. And we had everything from like our recreation programs to food bank to cultural centers.
We had a
to-
great dentistry.
Yeah.
Yes.
The dentist office came and they were like,
yeah.
yeah.
We
I
had
was thinking when you were saying like the Ethiopian New Year or like kind of something like acknowledging that as part, like not for that exactly, but I was just thinking since it lies in that September time too, so I was just thinking like, is it like maybe just even if it's like a communications thing, like an acknowledgement thing, yeah, I'm not sure.
But we had we had some groups like the West African Center attended that too, and then there were Hispanic
Pasta?
groups.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say, you know that there's an African restaurant in Linwood, right?
Yes,
Other one,
yes,
okay.
next to the pub place.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, we have to bring more food next time.
Yes,
We
yeah,
need to what, what?
more food.
Oh,
But we had people from, who were just like, they went to the pool or they were walking their dog and they're like, what's going on here? And so they came in and they were able to like find out about the different resources so that they could maybe then turn around and connect with their neighbors that maybe wouldn't know about some of this
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I was thinking,
Yeah.
so when I came to like the DEI, like, you know, the annual or like the comprehensive, I was like, I felt like a lot of Ethiopian folks maybe might not know a lot of the things that like are related to DEI that, you know, is happening in Mountain Terrace or like, you know, the things that they are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
You
think
can
a
tell
lot
the
of
community
our love
to what
community
it
is
is.
I know, right?
because a lot of the cities next door to each other are having
Yes.
the same welcoming week
Yeah.
events on the same day at the same time, and then we end up cannibalizing like each other's
Yes.
attendance.
We coordinate,
That's good.
with, our, we have a South County, actually a Snohomish County DEI
Oh, great.
staff group that I attend,
That's
and
great.
we are in communication pretty well. So I think we have a good list to start with, so let me munch on this with Andrew and some other folks, kind of figure out where to hone it in. I also wanted to just remind you, I think I sent you a link to, December 7th at the library at 10 a.m. Andrew Morrison, our local Native American muralist, will be there.
Oh,
So that's.
You said December 7th?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my Independence Day. So
what time is it again?
10.
Don't have that.
I'm sorry, I will make sure to send that.
Thank you. Like, my kids at the Edmonds Market for TSA. Good.
Okay, can I propose that maybe we table ideas for community mostly?
Yes.
Because I can give you in my staff update a
Yeah.
little bit about that, but we can also talk further.
Okay,
at another meeting.
sounds good.
Okay.
So Commissioner reports.
I
Chairman
already did my report.
Yeah.
Skip me, please.
Chairman Sudo, would you like to go first?
These are reports.
Yes, your chair report.
So we're going back into October, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our last meeting was September 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at the beginning of October, there was a discussion regarding the indigenous communities of Lake Forest Park and Shoreline. And I went there because I thought, well, Mountlake Terrace is right next to these two communities. So there's got to be some information there about indigenous communities that lived out in our area. David Burge was a local historian and teacher that presented there, and he discussed the research into the indigenous peoples that lived in those areas, and in fact lived in Mountlake Terrace as well. And this was put on by Lake Forest Park and Shoreline. That was on the 7th. And on the 15th, Elections Explained. And this is the Snohomish County Elections Board that I think it was in the library. Voting process, election security, things like that, voter processing. Great Q&A. Let's see. We have our DEI strategic planning meeting on the 17th. Is that the week after? I think that's when it was. It was William and I, and
Yeah. Yes.
I was at that too, I think.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Juneteenth prep meeting for 2025 on October the 25th. I went to a Mountlake Terrace High School jazz band night also on the 25th, and that was really cool. Well attended, and really impressed with the quality of music. Mountlake Terrace Chamber of Commerce on the 29th. And Lori Matsukawa, the book reading, that was great. Children's book that she wrote. That was on November the 2nd. And what else did we do? DEI, the video greeting production. That was That was fun to do.
You guys look at the video.
Missed that. I haven't looked at it.
They were gross,
Yeah, Teresa, we missed you at that one. And
Oh, God.
We'll do more. We
Yeah.
need to do more before January.
yeah,
Okay.
and
Count me in.
I'll need more practice anyway, but that was it for me.
What would you like to?
Sure, I can do that. Welcoming week was that after our
It was.
September meeting?
Yeah.
No, we did welcoming week, which was really great. That was a fun event and, look forward to next year when it can be 2.0. And then I did also attend 2 of the strategic plan meetings, with Scott and William. I also attended the Lori Matsukawa event. I think the name of the book is called The Picture Bride. It was about her
Yeah,
grandmother. About
yes.
her grandmother being brought to Hawaii to marry her grandfather.
Uh,
It was really, just the history of it was really interesting. It's a beautiful book. And, so that was really good. I went to the artist reception for the art thing too. That was pretty far back. I also stopped in, I didn't get to spend very much time there, but Linwood at the event center had their Day of the Dead event, and it was just, I just kind of wanted to go in and see what it was like. They had a lot of community groups tabled there, and then they had some beautiful presentations going on inside the bigger room. They had the really beautiful Day of the Dead altar. Anyway, that's an event I'd like to go and spend a little bit more time at. And then I did talk to Carol, and I talked to Carla, who's at the food bank, and about seeing if there was someplace at the Presbyterian Church there to have a group like of maybe food bank users to have a community meeting with. So she's gonna talk to somebody at the church about that. And so I'll catch you up on that when I hear more. But
We just brought how many pounds of food over there?
I was there.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was
you were
there.
there?
Yeah, I was there. I said hi to Andrew, but
Oh
I
my
didn't.
gosh,
I didn't see you guys.
it was so cold and foggy when we
Oh,
got there at like
hey, I was
5.
there for 3 hours.
Oh
So
my gosh. Yeah.
packing produce into bags. So yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Oh, you know what? You're probably on the video that I
Oh,
took
maybe,
in the
I don't know.
background.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't notice you taking a video, but yeah, we're usually pretty busy running back and forth with the food.
It was so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dropped off 1,500 pounds of food.
It was,
Over 2,000 items.
it just kept coming. Yeah, no, I was at that table under the cover
Yeah.
where we were like bagging stuff.
Yeah.
Taking things out of boxes. Yeah, that's what I do on Monday mornings.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my report.
Thank you. Thank you. So I attended Welcoming Week and the art show celebration night. I got to go to and found a familiar face at the community emergency response training in Everett at the South County Fire Station. So we kind of talked about maybe having something like that in our area. So search training. I attended the Secretary of State debate that the League of Women Voters
Oh, I
hosted
did
in
that too.
Edmonds. I taught two first aid CPR classes to our community members here at the library, and then at a fire station in Linwood. I attended an election observation, and the agreement to become a PTA for the Edmonds Special Education parent group. I've done 2 Girl Scout camps. I attended the Edmonds School District Financial Crisis Town Hall at the Edmonds Woodway School. And so they had legislators there from several legislative districts. I think there were 11 representatives there. I did some canvassing with the Snohomish County Elections Office and the League of Women Voters at the jail. And I worked the elections accessible voting site in Linwood Monday and Tuesday before the election. And I was able to help College Place Elementary with their hearing screening. I taught some preparedness classes at Terrace Park for 5th graders and some kindergartners. And I received an award from Girl Scouts of Western Washington for the Juliette Gordon Lowe, award, which is about leadership towards a wide variety of youth members over a period of time. So I've been a volunteer with them for 20 years, and yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there was 2 other things. So, in my hat as PTA counsel, I ended up getting sucked into a matter in which I used my cops and clergy connections to talk to the Linwood Police. And I ended up being invited by Sergeant Arnett at the Linwood Police Department to protecting your children information from child molesters. And so she does this presentation to cops and clergy groups, basically anyone that her organization can get the presentation in front of. And it was 4 hours and it was super intense. And in some ways it like made me feel validated as a parent that my 14-year-old has some really good boundaries and coping strategies and is what they called a hard target. And then there are some other things where I'm like, hey kid, do you know, have we talked about this enough? So it was fascinating. And that presentation's been done at the Linwood Cops and Clergy, and they would like to bring it out to more groups. So
Maybe we could find a day or a month that would fit for, and you know, the grand scheme of next year, and invite.
Well, could it be something that's more open to the public?
Yes.
Yeah.
She would love to get this in front
Because
of
our cops and
parents.
clergy is
Right.
in the morning.
And so it's really important work to have in front of clergy members, because one of the people at that presentation group was from a past church group. And so as she was saying, like, we take the broken, and sometimes the broken can harm children, and because they've been harmed or for all these other reasons. And so all of you in this room as clergy people need to be aware of this. And so I went into this room and they're like, what congregation are you with? And I'm like, I'm Edmonds PTA. And so it was, but they do the presentation in a variety of different ways, and they have a child advocate that does interviews. And so it was horrifying and fascinating, and hopeful that there's so much effort going into raising awareness for our children. And last, my kiddo is taking American Sign Language in high school. And so she had to go to an event in the community where people who are deaf or hard of hearing attend. And so I was able to chaperone her and a classmate to go to the Around the Table ASL game night. So once a month, they have a silent game night, and people in the communities come out. And so she was like, it was terrible. I didn't know any signs. I'm pretty sure that the person who helped us was a child of a deaf person, Coda. And so it was kind of awkward, but we played Kids Against Humanity together, and I got my school assignment stuff done. And now she's excited to try it again, now that she knows kind of what to expect. She was like, I didn't know anything. I didn't learn any signs that I was supposed to learn. It was a lot of finger spelling. You started this language in September. You're doing great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
You guys are wonderful. Nice work.
and then on a personal note, I'd like to thank you for the flowers for them. I appreciate it. It's,
It gave you some comfort.
It
I mean,
so she was ready to move on, and so that was, and we were with her, and so that was good. So
Good.
Yeah, we've been thinking about you.
yeah.
Yeah. I have one more thing to add. I was at the Washington West African Center for a welcome to the city of Mountlake Terrace. The mayor was there, and a few other people. William was there, and we got to meet the whole Washington West African Center staff, and Pat Wolfman, who's the executive director there. Had a good time.
It sounded like that was a very big event.
It was a big deal. I didn't realize
Very
that.
forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good question.
Well, thank you.
you're up.
Okay, a couple of things. And for your December meeting, the staff DEI committee would like to have dinner with you prior to your meeting. So it would be like right after their workday and before your meeting. We could make your meeting shorter that night, maybe. Would you be open if I brought in dinner and you met at like 5 or 5:30 with them?
You're giving us food. Like,
I'll bring two servings for you. Feel like that's your answer.
yeah.
And it's early. And hey,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so I'll work on that. And then I know, I asked them what they would like to hear from you, and they, I think, want to know more about like your priorities. Certainly like your work plan, a little bit of the event stuff, but maybe also if you have any like policy goals or things, we're still working on the strategic plan, but I know you all probably have your own ideas about priorities for our work around equity issues. So maybe just be prepared to talk about that with the group. But more of a get to know you, they're, just getting started. And then, let's see, there are 2 spots left, I believe, in the training that Shoreline has invited us to, Undoing Racism. And so if anyone's interested, it is 2 days, Friday, December, I think that's the 6th and the 7th. Yeah, 6th and 7th in Shoreline. We have 2 staff people going. So let me know if you're interested and I'll resend you the info.
If you can go, it's really, really good.
It is
Yeah.
really good.
Amazing.
December 6th, 7th.
6th is a Friday and Saturday the 7th.
Yeah, can't do it.
Yeah. All right, so, and then, although we're not talking about community ambassadors in detail tonight, I just wanted to reiterate what I started to mention earlier, that I am working with Sienna and, city manager on our city university program. We're working on a brand that might be more flattering than city university. Or more catchy, more like, why should I take this class?
Not trademarked.
But we're hoping to launch that and get the class going next February. And then finish it up right around the time that we're recruiting for boards and commissions. And then following that would be the launch of the Long Range Financial Sustainability Task Force. So there's like a whole bunch of things going on in the spring. Our community conversations, city university, and then this task force starting, which could last for 8 to 12 months. So just thinking about community ambassadors, we're like trying to find people in the community who can represent different groups of people in these different ways. So I just, in a short way, saying like, this is the work that we have in front of us, and I think it's really exciting, and I look forward to sharing more with you about all of this. But I think in our community conversations coming up, it'd be interesting to hear what people want to understand more about government, because it could help us define that curriculum better. That's all I have.
Alright. Any new business from anyone? Alright. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second? All right. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of adjourning our meeting? All right, I think that's unanimous.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Vanita.
Turn off the recording.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye, Scott.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.